Welcome to the Cool Fireman Podcast, a virtual firehouse kitchen table with Matt, Adam, Brian, Doug, and Freddie, where they discuss everything that matters in today's fire service. Now let's get to the show.
This whole can of nuts.
There's a lot of nuts in your mouth, Doug. Welcome back to the Cool Fireman Podcast, guys. How y'all doing?
I'm eating beef jerky, not nuts. You're the one with nuts in your mouth.
Show them again, Adam. You showed the regular one and you showed the large one.
Oh, I ate them.
He went there.
He is the large one.
It's
We
2023.
went right to the explicit, right there. We're only
Planters
28
special
seconds
crop.
in.
Hell yeah, motherfucker.
This whole can is from my family's farm. They did a whole
Why you ain't
special
sitting
crop.
there?
Why are you speaking with your mouth? Didn't your mother teach you correctly?
Why aren't you sending me some of those special reserve peanuts or whatever they are?
This is all I got.
He's still
I'm
waiting
getting-
on his raffle
Really
winnings.
talking
That's
about
why he
that.
didn't spend it.
No, sir. I paid for that. That's done. That's done and over with.
Okay, I was trying to help.
And you got $100 profit.
Whoa! I was trying
Let
to
me
help
tell
Adam out.
That canopy is real nice.
What are you talking about? Nobody knows.
It's an inside joke. It's an inside
Adam
This
joke.
is a
won my-
podcast. We have a lot of non-insiders.
Adam won my
Including me.
softball team's raffle last
2 years ago.
Last summer.
A long time ago.
I've been trying to get this shit to him since then. He won a canopy and a cooler and some chairs. I was like, dude, can I just buy this shit from you? So I paid him back what he got in the raffle, and I gave him $100 profit. And I thought that's a win-win. And I used, of course, I mean, we can use all that for the team. I've been using the cooler for the team. We used the canopy this past
I was going to
weekend.
say, he's been
Tournament.
using it for the last year and a half.
No,
You
no.
can use it. You
I'm
borrowed
kidding. I'm
something.
kidding. I'm kidding.
I did ask his permission to use it once, but I didn't use it. And this past weekend, after I bought it from him, was the first time any of that stuff ever got used. It's just been sitting in my shed.
Like
But that
chicken
canopy,
poop
it's a
all
12 by 12. No, there's no chicken. No, it's clean.
He asked me, he says, how much you want for it? I said, enough for me to stop talking about it. He goes, gotcha.
$100 done. Shut your mouth.
He goes, how much you pay for it? I told him, and he's like, there you go. On
Done.
top of
There it is.
Like, not a problem.
D-O-N-E. Done.
That's a good investment for the softball team, right
Then
there.
the next line was, so since we don't have to worry about this anymore, are you going to go to, what was it? The festival that me and Brian were going to go to. And you're like, oh, no, I'm still not going.
I totally forgot about it.
That's okay. We didn't go either.
Ha!
There was this little thing called an explosion.
You
that
made
happened.
me feel guilty, you son of a bitch.
I thought I said it in text messages. Like, everybody bailed on me. I mean,
I don't
Ronnie
recall.
bailed
Mine?
first, then Doug, then Brian's wife, then Brian with a little encouragement from me, and then I bailed.
I was
What
going to
about
say,
Ronnie?
I didn't
Did
have
he
a
bail
choice
on you?
here. I was looking forward to it.
Ronnie was the first person to bail, he said.
Yeah,
Oh, Ronnie was. Gosh darn.
because
Ronnie.
Ronnie bailed because he was sick. So that means Brian had to step in for him that Friday night for the investigation / Saturday morning.
Yeah. Hey, can you go to that? I was like, oh, God, here we go.
Yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, I reckon. You're like, you're going to tell your boss no, right? Oh, geez.
So what y'all been
Especially
doing?
especially when he listens to there. Hi, Ron.
What y'all been
Hey,
doing?
and he said, hey, when he listened to last week's episode with Daryl, son, he was blowing us up in the text message. So, Ronnie, this last 20 seconds is for you. There you go.
I know my internet was screwing up last week. I think it was because my Mac was dead. Like it wouldn't come back on, and I was trying to use it before it had enough juice and had caught up to being smart. Did you guys make it's my brother Daryl, other brother Daryl joke? No, you didn't do that.
We didn't do
God
that.
damn it, that would have been a classic.
Well, we need to get Daryl back on.
Well,
He was a huge
for people
hit.
my age anyway. Them youngsters might not understand. They won't understand it. Who am I kidding?
He was a huge hit. He helped us out a lot on YouTube. He did. He got us lots of views.
I want the world to know
Yeah.
that I saved a little baby fawn this morning. A little baby deer, a little Bambi. My wife, I was actually fueling up the excavator to get to work today, moving a bunch of dirt. And she called me and she was like, hey, I need you to come over here. There's something wrong with a chicken. What? Okay, whatever. Because the dog was over there just barking. Because my dog she's like part chicken, I think. She understands chicken language. So she knows when chickens are in distress and she'll go run. So I go over there and when I start hearing it, I'm like, honey, that ain't no chicken. Meh, meh. I go over there and it's this fawn that She
Wait,
probably
how'd
had
they
it.
go again? How'd they go again?
All my deer hunters know exactly what that sounds like. I was like, honey, that's a deer. So I'm assuming what happened. She got up and she ran into the neighbor's fence and got her head stuck in some 2x4 welded wire and couldn't get it out. So I pulled her out of it. It is. I say she. I'm sorry. He. I just assume they're all girls until proven otherwise. I picked him up, pulled a bunch of ticks off of him, and put him down, and he took off. But I'm assuming she had him last night. And the chickens, when they went over there, spooked him, and he got up and ran into the fence. We went to town a little while later, come back, and the mama was in the woods right there beside the house looking for her. So I told my wife, I gave her the whole spiel, like they have phones. They lay there quiet and still. Mama goes off for the day, and then she'll come back. It's how it works. Is she going to find it? I'm like, yeah, honey, she's going to find it. It's okay. But it was cute. I've 45 years old, been a deer hunter all my life, lived in the country all my life, and I've never held a phone. It was cool. I was max 2 days old, but I picked him up, pulled a bunch of ticks off of him, put him down, and he trotted away. It was cool.
See you in a couple of years for dinner.
Yeah, my buddies at work were like, "Oh, that's gonna be some good jerky, man." Like, come on, man, you should keep it as a pet. I'm like, that's illegal, sir.
Josh Young would have been proud.
Why Brian
That's right.
and Adam are not laughing, or you guys have just like a stone cold look on your face, like this is normal.
This
And
is
I'm over
normal.
here like, what the fuck is
It was
going
cool,
on?
man. Like I said, Matt, I've been a deer hunter all my life since I was old enough to tote a gun, and I've never in my life even seen up close a fawn. I mean, you see them in the fields and stuff, but I've never seen one that close, and I've certainly never picked one up. But it was a really cool experience.
Did he piss or shit all over you?
No, not at all. He had a
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of ticks on him because, of course, he's just laying there, and the ticks are going to crawl on him. So.
Yeah. Wow.
I hate a fucking tick. Oh,
You hate him.
I
Yeah.
hate them. I fucking hate them.
That's a country
You
song.
get some pet
It could be.
opossums.
It is. I'll check you for ticks.
I like to check you for ticks. Brad
Check
Paisley.
you. Yeah. So now Doug
At
has
some
done a
point, we're good to
turkey call
housekeeping.
and a deer call. Oh my god! You just fucking blew everybody's. Was that the shake weight?
Look,
That's
there
my
goes
turkey.
the dogs.
And there's the dogs.
The turkey call. And there goes my dogs going nuts.
Next week, I want a donkey.
7 minutes in, and
A
we
donkey.
still haven't
They still
started.
haven't even introed. Welcome back to the Cool
Hey!
Fireman Podcast.
Welcome to episode 10. Is this going to
No,
be 8?
it's 111.
And it cracks me up
Is
because
it going to be 111 even though what we did last week?
It's 111, Dick Licker.
I know, but are we going to number
whatever
last
the
week
producer
that
says.
we redid?
Yes, 110.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're
Okay,
yes,
so
season
this-
10.
Roger that.
Yeah.
So season 11, this is episode 111.
Sorry, my mistake.
And
11.
we are going to talk about something that happened. This is going to drop.
Are y'all going to talk about
20th.
Freddie?
No.
Oh, he's on a silent retreat. That's why
What?
he couldn't
Freddie's
be here
on-
this week.
he's
He's
on
on
a
a silent
sabbatical?
retreat deep in the hills of Canada right now.
Oh, really?
Yes,
He's trying to
because you
become
know
a
he's
monk,
Canadian. What?
Isn't he trying to become a monk or something?
Oh, he's like
Something
Ace
like that.
Ventura,
Yeah.
hanging out with the.
I mean, he's been rocking the bald,
total
haircut for
creaminess.
years. So
He's got a
he's on a
skull.
silent
he
retreat.
just has that patch of hair
Mm-hmm.
on the back there.
The
with
Is that a
Tuck.
yarmulke cut? Nah, it's a patch of hair, my guy. Anyway, this is going to drop the 21st. Today is the 11th. I'm sorry, the 20th is when this is going to drop. That's Friday. Today is the 11th, and we're going to talk about something that it stood out in my mind because it happened again June 11th to my department today, and that's highway safety.
highway safety. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an incident today with one of our fire engines that was on I believe it was an overturned dump truck call. They had cleared up. They may not have even been on the call. I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure. Anyway, long story short, they cleared the scene and were going back to quarters. And there was, from what I understand, one lane closed, which if you guys do like we do, lane 1 is the left lane and it goes to the right, starts left and goes right. So the engine is traveling in lane 3 from what I understand. The accident is in lane 1 and it's blocked up there. We're doing everything we're supposed to do. And apparently at the last minute, this car just jerks the wheel to the right and goes from lane 1 to lane 3, bang. Because I'm assuming, again, you don't like to assume, but you can only assume that either they're in a rush or they're distracted. So I cannot stand working on the highway. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I try to get off the road as soon as I can. And I hate that, as bad as this sounds, that we didn't just get hit. I hate that we hit someone because of something they did. Again, I don't want to get too deep into this, and I hope I'm not doing anything wrong in saying this, but it sucks that we hit another vehicle.
Sure.
We always preach that if you're stopped and sitting still, you're not at fault. However, you're traveling down Interstate 95. But it sucks. I don't know if you guys have had any units hit at all or recently. This is the third I think we've had in about 12 to 15 months that have been hit on the highway. One of which was a ladder truck that got tore all to hell. I actually think they took it out of service. I think they retired that unit. I think it was a reserve anyway, but I think they retired the unit because it was so damaged. Like it shoved the axles forward. Like it was a mess. But I hate it. And I don't know how, other than putting people in jail for distracted driving, I don't know what you do to curb this. I don't know what the answer is, but I cannot stand. I'd rather go to any call. I don't care what it is. I'd rather go to, as bad as this is, an active shooter situation than stand on the highway. And our procedure says you are not allowed to sit in the unit while you're blocking. I feel like it's safer to be in the unit while you're blocking. But
driving a 45,000-pound vehicle down the road is inherently dangerous.
Absolutely.
You know? But driving it with woo-woos on and the lights going woo 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 woo, scaring the shit out of people because, you know, just as well as I do, that nowhere in the DMV handbook does it say go left. That says pull to the right.
Slow down, merge right.
But yet they still merge to the left. So my answer is we have 3 people on the engines. 6 eyes are better than 2. And if you don't understand that or you don't agree with that, then we're going to have a problem. But supervisors, and I'm learning this as a new supervisor, you got to be on your new engineers. I feel that I've worked with a few new drivers recently and they drive fast. And I want to say they're doing it to prove themselves that, look at me, I can drive fast and I can make it I can get you to the emergency faster and I can do it. I can do it, Cap. I can do it. And that's their way of proving it. It's like an ego-driven thing, which is just a human being. We're firefighters, type A, ADHD, whatever you want to call it. We all want to prove ourselves. We all want to show that we can do our job. And I think and I feel in my heart that that's a lot of the issue. So new supervisors, including myself, you got to be on your new drivers. And I can use myself as an example, unfortunately, a few times. When I was brand new on the ambulance, I got in an accident on the highway. I was same exact thing, or freeway, same exact thing, Doug, that you had described. This is the 5 freeway, the 5. And I think there's 5 lanes. So the accident started in lane 1 and we ended up getting an accident in lane 5. This 16-year-old girl, thank God we had dash cams. She flew by us in lane 1, which is 5 lanes away. And she tried to go to the left side of a vehicle because she was driving too fast and overcorrected. And she ended up perpendicular to the freeway coming into my lane. And you can see in slow motion on the dash cam of the ambulance. I wish I had this footage because I would post it. You can see the tires are turned back left, but she's freaking Tokyo drifting across the 5 freeway, going probably 60, 70 miles an hour. And so I'm seeing this whole thing and I'm kind of pumping my brakes, not slamming on the brakes because I don't want to, I'm still in an ambulance. And this fucking chick comes across and I'm thinking she's going to go past me. Well, her car slowed down just enough that her tires caught and she lands right in front of us. And so I just kind of tap her, I rear end her. And then she proceeds to lie to CHP, California Highway Patrol, saying that we rear-ended her and we had the dash cam and they took her for whatever thing, that she's worth to try to, but anyways. And so it's like, how do you stop that? Like, you don't stop a 16-year-old from going 80 miles an hour, overcorrecting, going perpendicular to the freeway. But, you just kind of like keep that on your spidey sense, right? That's one incident. I had another incident as a new driver. Same thing. I blew through a red light, almost T-boned somebody. I would have absolutely probably killed somebody if I would have hit somebody. Bad day. The owner of the. You're right.
What the hell is that? Sorry, Adam's eating his microphone. Please stand by.
Anyway,
That
so
face
I would
was
have
like,
Put a little
I'm
Elizabeth salt on that
sorry.
thing.
I'm
Little-
sorry.
Little Elizabeth salt, and he started chewing on it.
Did we get a call at like 10 at night, 11 at night? We just woke up or whatever, and I'm just a new kid driving code 3, having fun, and then I just made a bad decision. Thank God it didn't cost me my life or anybody else's. So just be aware. But one thing I will say, when you're driving a fire engine, you got to drive. You have to drive offensively defensive. Like that's how I explain it. You
Yeah.
gotta push. I mean, in our town, it is tight. Access is terrible when you're driving. Oh my goodness, what are you doing, Unkie? You're killing me. Yeah, and that's the one thing. So what I always tell my guys is you got to drive down the center of the road, and push the people on the other side that are coming against you because they think, oh, the emergency vehicle's on the other side. I don't need to do shit. No, you need to pull over. You know what I mean? And the way I get to do that is I drive down the middle and I basically straddle the yellow line, telling them you're going to get over because I'm a lot bigger than you. You know what I mean? So the guys that stay in that number one lane, I'm like, guys, inch over just like 8 to 10 inches. Run over that line a little bit, and it's going to tell the people on the other side that are coming against you that they need to pull over and tell them what to do. Like that's basically you're telling them what to do.
You're talking on a 2-lane.
Yeah,
In town. Yeah.
2 or 3 lane.
Yeah.
With a lot of traffic. You know what I mean? So we utilize against the flow of traffic a lot in my town because it's small and we have a ton of traffic, especially during the summer. So
Yeah.
drive offensively, but in a defensive manner, if that makes any sense. It kind of sounds stupid, but you can't just be defensive all the time. You can't just be afraid. You know what I mean? Like you can't always be reacting. You have to, you know what I mean? You have to actually
Proactive
be
instead of reactive.
proactive.
Hey,
Well, that
I
goes-
feel. Hang on. I'm sorry, Brian. I feel remiss I'm sorry. I didn't cover housekeeping at the beginning, and that's my bad. I don't do this much. I'm just here so I don't get fined. But shout out to Big Tom. Back at work, in the saddle. Couldn't text me today. He said he was on the rig. I'm like, all right, man, cool. You can still talk to me, but whatever. But shout out to Tom at the Burn Box and the FD Collectors Club for all he does for us. Shout out to Big Uncle Lunk up there for all he does for us. Shout out to Big Brian at East Coast Kelly's for slinging that cooking content.
Damn.
That beautiful bean footage. You know what I mean?
Roll it.
And hey, let's pause right here in the middle, man. Let's do this moment of
don't worry about
silence.
that. Thank you, Matt, for all you do.
No, it's cool.
I'm talking
I
about
don't do shit
sponsors
around
and
here.
food. Shout out to Matt for all he does
shut
for
up.
us.
I
I don't
don't do
want your
shit.
petty.
Bullshit. Matt's the
want-
MVP. I need to get you. I'm gonna order you a chain with your face on it, and I'm gonna send it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put Unkie's face on it, and I'm gonna send it to you. I just got one for the softball team.
Editor.
Maybe we need to
In chief.
change the reins and give it to somebody else because I'm
No,
not doing
you're
a good job.
no, you're doing. I'm sorry. I apologize. You are the MVP of this podcast, and it's.
Oh, stop it. Get out.
I have no problem saying that. We
I
wouldn't
just
be
can't
nowhere
wait
without
for
you.
Brian to start
Stop
showing
it.
his feet pics. You know,
Whoa.
yeah, feetfinder.com.
I've seen his feet. It ain't no. Don't pay for that shit. But look at here.
Whatever
We-
it takes to bring money in.
We need to drop this moment of silence, man. We had one close to us recently. You guys will hear about that. Well, you just heard about it this past week.
Last week.
Yeah. With Jay, and it's. Let's just get to the moment of silence. I never got to meet Jay. I wasn't fortunate enough, like Unkie, to meet Jay. But God, his podcast was great, and he just seemed like such a solid ass dude, man. He was just a solid ass dude. So that one's a little emotional for me because he sat and he took time out of his schedule to sit and talk to us. So Mad respect for that and all the other brothers and sisters we may have lost this week. So, all that being said, I'm ordering Matt an MVP chain. With
Let
this
me go
face
back
on
to
it.
my thought if I can, because if
Yes.
not, I'll
Go
get
back.
old timer.
Brian, back to you.
I
We're
will
going to
get old
segue to
timers.
Brian.
Segue.
We've got
I'll get
Brian
old-
Kelly in the field. Brian, what do you see out there?
Well, this kind of goes back to a question I was going to ask. North Carolina, for all fire based certifications, I don't care what it is, no matter where you start, Fire 1 and 2, TR, whatever. And let's say you got Fire 1 and 2 a long time ago, and then now you're trying to get another cert. What they now require is for you to get what's called TIMS, Traffic Incident Management Systems.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a 4-hour class. And I just wanted to ask, Doug's shaking his head yes. So
Done it.
I don't care. I was going to say, I don't care if you were, Fire 1 and 2 for 10 years and you go to get another cert, you've got to get that class.
Yep.
And it talks about it because of the amount of dangers on the highway. North Carolina has recognized just that much of an importance. And then what I wanted to speak to was we had a line of duty death involving a firefighter who was struck and killed at my automatic aid department, and as well as a sheriff's deputy. So we had what's called super fog. And so basically what happened was there was an accident that morning involving the super fog on the military installation. And so the fire truck responded. It was a divided highway, and so they stopped on one side of the road where the accident was. They crossed into the median. They did not create blockers because PD had created blockers, or the sheriff's office had created blockers on the other side. So they just stopped on the southbound side, and the accident was on the northbound side. They went over, and they heard a kid crying, right? And they're like in this fog. And so they go running to it, him and the deputy, and here came a tractor trailer 60 miles an hour and struck and killed them. Very tragic incident. Very, very tragic incident. And so they really talked about that and how if they would have had that system in place, that tractor trailer would have deflected and hit the fire engine and things of that nature, right? And that would have been tragic as well, but it would have created that safe zone. So I'm using that as an example to say no guarantee that Tim's training would have, or whatever y'all call it in your state, would have made a difference. But do you have that, and do you practice that kind of buffering on those highways?
A few years ago, it might have been 5. It might have been more than a few at this point. But we redid all of our highway procedure stuff, all of our highway, street, anything, all of our roadway operations. And we did TIMS, and we set up, the safe zone and a buffer. And now on any limited access highway, which obviously has a Jersey wall and exits, we dispatch at least 2 engines. Sometimes it's an engine and a truck, depending on which district it's in. But you have that second blocking unit who does nothing but set up further behind to block that. We stopped putting cones behind the unit. We only put cones downstream now. Or I guess that's upstream. No, that's downstream. I still get confused about it. But that has been big for us because most of our incidents happen on those limited access highways when there's higher speeds. And obviously, that's just more traffic. That's where that happened today, was on Interstate 95, which, of course, as most folks know, runs from Florida to Maine. So, yeah, we implemented TIMS a while back. We anytime you're on the roadway, if you're not actively firefighting or actively involved in extrication, you have to wear a traffic vest. We have to have cones out from the bumper forward. And again, we get a second blocking unit. I mean, we even dispatch an engine to MVAs that have pulled off the roadway in a parking lot now, just for hazards, in case there's any fluids leaking. But we changed a lot of our dispatching. Like I said, it may have been 5, 6, maybe even 7 years ago now, when we changed a bunch of stuff in regards to that, and it still happens.
Anybody have any specialty units for blocking? I've seen it online, right, where like they have
I was going to get
engine.
there.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to get there. I would love to see, there's places that use big ass tractor drone tankers and the absorption, like the VDOT trucks. I say VDOT, the Department of Transportation trucks. Yeah, the Scorpion, like the shock absorption things. I've seen a lot of departments that use just a special, like a humongous truck to block. That's why, again, most of our Interstate 95 and Interstate or Highway 150, which is Chippenham Parkway. You have 2 ladder trucks that service Chippenham, as well as 2 ladder trucks that service Interstate 95. So most of the time, you're going to get a ladder truck, which is damn near twice as long as an engine. So you can almost block 4 lanes of traffic with it. So I'm glad we started doing that. We initially were only doing it on 95, but we finally said, look, on 288, which is a 2-lane either direction, north and south, it's being expanded to 3 and 4 lanes at some point at some places. But we finally started dispatching a blocking unit on those as well, because technically they're limited access highways. So why are we limiting this to only Interstate 95? It could just as well happen here or on the toll road, the Powhite Parkway. It could just as easily happen there. So even if we don't, before they started dispatching us, we, in my house, would dispatch, hey, Chesterfield, add the truck to that for a blocking unit, because we want to do all we can to be as safe as we can. Because I mentioned earlier, even when we've got the incident wrapped up and we're waiting on PD or a tow truck, or because it's just not safe, or like, I hate to leave my troopers hung out. Even though they're like, hey man, you guys can clear. I'm like, nah, man, I don't like this. I'm going to stay here, because I don't want to leave that trooper sitting out there in a Ford Explorer by himself. It's just, it's a terrible spot. You know, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. And I personally feel like the safest place for us is in the vehicle, but my procedure says you are not allowed to sit in a vehicle while blocking. And that's cool. If that's what it says, that's what I'm going to do. But I would rather, and I get it, you're going to get, out of the travel lane and whatever. But, when you're picking up cones to leave, somebody's got to eyeball that. So we've got a guy that basically spots now. He or she will come stand up front and look back upstream at the traffic while you're picking up the cones. And it's just,
who makes that decision to call for like a truck as a blocking unit? Because so obviously you're blocking the people that are outside your emergency vehicles that are helping people on the side of the freeway or whatever it is, right? So does dispatch, do they make that determination, or does your first in company officer, do they say, hey, dispatch me another unit?
A little bit of both. Again, when we switched over to a lot of that stuff, our limited access highways now get an engine and an engine, or an engine and a truck, whatever the first due engine is, and then they'll get the second due engine or the first due truck as a blocking unit. But it's always okay for the first due company's officer or acting officer to say, hey, send me another unit for blocking.
Yeah.
It's never, you're never, ever in my department, ever going to get grief over that, because it's a safe play.
And if you're on a interstate, the state will send out a fart response.
Yes, on 95 only in our area. If you call for the cone truck, the Safety Service Patrol,
fart
SST
team, it's Freeway Accident Response Team.
Oh,
they did change. Well, they did.
Cool.
It was that, and they went to FERT, Freeway Incident, because I realized they spelled fart.
I think it's SST up here, but anyway. Anything that's dispatched on Interstate 95 now goes to a separate channel. It's one of our TAC channels, and the Richmond Traffic Operations Center, TOC, is made aware of that accident, and you will say block established, and then at that point, Richmond TOC, because we got cameras. You can look at it's a 511 app or something. You can see all the traffic cameras, and the Richmond TOC monitor those cameras all the time. So when you're on 95 on that call, you can also contact and talk to the TOC, and they will dispatch that Safety Service Patrol, and that's basically the cone truck. He or she, whoever's driving that truck, comes, and they'll set cones up for a half a mile back, whatever the case, how much room they need to force that traffic over. So by the time they get to the scene, they're definitely already merged. But our problem, I shouldn't say our problem, when we switched over to dropping cones from the front forward, now those people will drive right up to the engine before they try to merge. And some of those people in the straight through lane are like, nah, you're not coming over here. So bang, you got a problem.
I never heard of that in my life. Like, what? You're gonna get a fart. I never heard of that.
Well, the fart is different than what he's talking about. He's talking about like almost like construction style, right? Like,
yeah.
So us is the fart team is a pickup truck. It has the it's like a F-250. It has the aerial, the directional.
Yeah.
It folds up. It has a big cap on the back.
Uh-huh.
He's one that will change your tire, give you fuel. But he also also sits back and blocks traffic for an incident. And of course, the cities that work our interstates, they do, request a ladder truck or another engine if the ladders are busy. So,
And I'll speak from personal experience regarding what Unkie's talking about. There's so many 5 and 6 lane interstates down in that 7 cities area that, I mean, it's nuts. Like, you can get lost and confused down there if you don't know where you're going. You've got so many, and I'm talking anywhere from
it's the
3 to
405,
6
baby.
lanes. Yeah, kind of. But you got 64, 664, 264, at 464. Like, it's nuts down there, man.
What the hell?
It's crazy. It's very
You
confusing.
can drive
but there's
east
but what I'm saying
on 64
to go west.
Yeah, to go west. So you're actually driving
Uh-huh.
64 west, and you're watching the sun come up above the ocean.
It's wild.
Don't.
But just what I'm speaking to is that there's so much room for those things to happen in that area because there's just so many 5 and 6 lane highways down there that are always 55. Forget that. It's 75 or you're getting run over,
Yeah. I was going to ask a question about rural traffic. So I'm sure a lot of your feeder streets are probably 2-lane roads as well. I know serving a county, Chesterfield County, right, is much like our counties. And I learned very early on some little tricks of the trade where you don't have those resources out there for you and you have to provide a safe zone. So my volley department, we run close to 600 calls, and over half of those, or nearly half every year, are accidents. We have 3 major roads that run through our district, and then the rest of those are rural roads. And so we're right outside of our city. And what I'm trying to get at is that we have a good portion of those that happen on the major roads and a good portion of those that happen on those back roads. And so we learn little tricks of the trade. So, for example, imagine you've got somebody driving on a curve. They're traveling too fast. They roll, that back wheel goes off, and then they roll or they go into the ditch or whatever. And so you've got to set up that zone, and maybe you have limited resources for a volley department. Little tricks of the trade of like putting cones, traffic cones, into the curve before you ever get there while you're starting to set up your buffers, right? Because in a volley department, you're waiting for that other unit. So you're deploying those resources and people are coming up and they're going, oh, wow, what are those cones in the middle of the curve for? So by design, it causes them to slow down to where you can have somebody at the incident scene, 100 yards down. Until that other unit can get there, right? And then you can set up in the actual curve. Any other little tricks of the trade like that y'all have seen over your years of experience?
I've called a third unit a few times because on Chippenham southbound, for the people who are local and know what I'm talking about, when you start coming Chippenham south between Hull Street and when you get to Belmont Road, there's a curve, and it's kind of an uphill curve. And then once you go under Belmont, it's pretty... you can get lost there. I've been on a few accidents there in the wintertime when there's ice on the road, and I've called for a third unit to block far behind that curve to just say, look, man, there's something going on. I need to break it down a little bit. But again, other than limited access highways, you get one engine on an accident in my department. So you have
who does traffic control? Fire or law?
And in my job, bro, I don't do traffic.
Yeah.
So I've told many a cop that, hey man, this ain't my job. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't want anybody to say the fireman told me to go through here and then something bad happens to them. Well, the fireman told me, no. I don't do traffic.
No,
like Chief, what's his name? Tank the Pump Frank. You tell them get up here. I got a fucking fire to fight. I don't do traffic. Bro, I don't do it. Now there are times when I have to, but we'll put one person on either end and they're in contact via radio. Hey, stop yours. I've got some coming. Because like you said, the rural roads that are 2 lanes, it has to happen sometimes.
Yeah. My county, the volleys do the traffic control, and I've never liked it. It's the culture that we live in. In the city where I worked, cops direct traffic, and it's just the difference, right? And so in some instances, I think some of our listeners are probably just the same, right? Some of them own it. I think that's a smaller percentage, but the majority of them don't. But we're all responsible for helping that Tim's mindset, right? Like we have a role in it. That cop needs that buffer as well, right? He needs the big piece of apparatus to help, shed some space.
Well, when 4 cops show up to my little accident, all right, who's investigating? Me? All right, what are y'all doing? Get your little flashlight out. Do something.
You're checking.
You don't need.
For,
He don't need
for
help.
chicks, not for ticks.
He or she
That's what
don't
I
need
always
help.
used to
Go handle these calls, man. I'm handling hazards and injuries. I ain't got time to do traffic. Get your ass over here. If you ain't investigating an
mechanism of
accident.
injury, right? We're checking for mechanism of injury.
We don't care about that no more.
That's a joke.
I know. I the video. I know the video you're talking about.
Doug, do you have like a threshold as to like how many kilometers wide
Bullshit coming.
your freeway would be before you get the
Here we
cone?
go.
You
Is there a
get the
fucking?
cones?
Is there a hectare joke coming or some shit?
I'm just curious how many kilometers wide the freeway would need to be, or long, maybe, or maybe
I'm a red.
like
I'm a
maybe the
red-blooded
accident-
American. I'm a red-blooded American who's a
Lake
back-to-back
Firehouse is great
undefeated
again.
World War champ. I don't use fucking kilometers.
What if the wreck's like a kilometer long?
Well,
Then-
you better
then-
put that shit in feet.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love it.
Good job, Unkie.
This has been a good one.
Fucking assholes.
Yeah.
So, what's the
We-
call to
we-
action this week?
We
How
went
do
a
you
little
handle
wild.
traffic?
We went a little wild there.
The call to action is put a banana in your tailpipe. That's the call to
No,
action.
the call to action.
Okay,
is,
Eddie Murphy.
how do
The
you
call to
how do
action
you
is
handle
to
traffic?
not drive distracted. Period.
Okay.
Yeah, but that doesn't boost the algorithm. They need
Phone down, eyes up.
We need to type.
Well,
it.
you're the call to action guy. Send it.
Yeah, call to action is type in the comments. Are you or are you not responsible for traffic control, and what are some of your techniques that you do in your department?
Because I ain't
People
fucking
say-
doing it.
Yeah, how do you make sure everybody goes home safe? Let's put it that way. Let's reverse it.
I know how we can get some engagement. We tell people that the fire department is the only person that should be doing the traffic control.
I'm gonna
Okay,
let
don't
you
you
do
guys
that one
think
because
that?
I get enough hate every week already.
Don't you guys
There
think
go.
that?
Your tears of hatred nourish me.
I think the fire department should be the ones doing traffic control.
Because I love the
Right.
opportunities to throw flashlights at cars' windshields. They don't say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Tony Stewart.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Come on out
None
to
of y'all
Los
done that
Angeles. They're
before?
throwing lots of things at police cars.
I heard that it was picking up all the Angel Reese's bricks and taking them out there. Is that true story? Or?
It will be 2 weeks after the incident, so the truth will come
Who's
out.
that guy?
It's one of the Chicago's greats.
Who the fuck is
One of
that
the
guy?
Chicago
Who
greats.
the fuck is that guy? You say Angel Reese? I've seen him. I've seen that guy.
Yeah, in California,
that
it's a
guy.
dude. Angel.
Are we done here?
I think we're done here.
No, we're
I
not.
think we're
We're just
done.
getting started.
We're done.
Orderly horse.
You're done.
You're
done.
done. You're
You're
done.
done. And you're done.
How about this Burn Box T-shirt, huh?
Yeah,
Everett
how about it?
Washington. Shout out Everett Washington for a sick
3
logo.
out of 4 are wearing it tonight.
Dude,
Shout
that
out
fits
to the
you
Burn.
really good. Is that like a double XL?
Who, me? Who are you talking about?
No,
You.
on the nips.
Them boys probably got 3 X's.
You know it.
Nice. Looks really nice on
The
you.
only thing I need 2 X's is these fucking guns,
Oh,
that
God.
That blue shirt really brings your eyes out.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Shout out to Tom, man. This thing is dope. It's a sweet color. I like the color. It's a good blue.
It is a cool blue.
And
It
you'll
is.
need to see what else is in the burn box because there's other things.
Oh, you probably seen the review at this point. If you haven't, go to our Instagram and our TikTok page and our Facebook page and check out Big City Doug's review of your June burn box. All
And
you
there-
puddle pirates
And
will
there may
appreciate it.
be a really sweet Unkie's
You
discount
gotta,
code.
gotta watch the
Could
video to
be.
find out what it is.
And some bomb ass chicken nachos.
Yeah, I got a shout out.
What you got?
I got a shout out to Tanner. I think it's Tanner Webster. He comments on our Spotify on the podcast. So thank you. For
Oh,
that.
I never
That's
see
super
Spotify
rad.
comments.
Yeah, well, that's-
But shout
that's a
out him.
personal problem.
I gotta shout out
So that's
for
awesome.
Mama Lisa. She loves me more than that.
Oh, Mama Lisa.
Mama.
Hey, Unkie, is that
I
your
thought we were
your
done.
new Taylor's Tin Cup back there?
Oh, you mean bucket?
Can we bring that in? Let's bring that in. Bring it in. Unkie's headed for scale, which is also fucking massive.
Whoa,
Holy shit.
It
dude!
fits.
If you don't
If
do a
you're
cooking
not,
video,
fits
if you're
us
not
tits.
watching, you need to go check it out.
Taylor has a a mug that fits on Unkie's head. That's a 12-inch ruler.
Put it up and down. Put it vertical.
Oh,
The
The ruler.
ruler.
It's 10 inches deep. He looks like the fucking Tin Man from Wizard
Roll
of
it,
Oz.
GG. Let's get us out of here.
If you don't do a cooking content video with that
Dude,
on your head, you
that
have
thing
lost your mind.
is amazing. I need him.
He
I need
looks
one.
like-
I gotta have
that's
one.
next size down. That's the 100-ounce right here. This is the
I gotta have
100
one.
right here.
Hit yourself again. Hit yourself.
Hit yourself again.
All right, that's awesome.
Dude, Jackson is watching in the back and dying.
Roll it, GG.
Roll it, GG.
Before you leave, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and give these firemen a huge thumbs up. Also, make sure you check out thecoolfireman.com for more. Thanks!